Hey, one of my subscribers asked what they should take with them to school. So I'm going to give you a rundown on things that you could possibly need. And there's actually kind of a complicated question, but it's not either. Stick around if you want to know the answer to the question. Hey everybody, we're back. All right, I'll tell you why this is a complicated question. The person that asked, I don't know if you mean that you were going to driving school, like for some company, and you was going to be gone for 2 or 3 weeks, or if you've already got your CDL and you're going to be out with a trainer, because they're different. But then you go, well, if you're going to driving school, you might go from driving school to out with a trainer. So I wrote down a few things and we'll look it over, okay? So you should always take weather appropriate clothing with you wherever you're going. If you live in Atlanta or somewhere and you're going to somewhere mountainous, or Seattle, not Seattle, that's not, let's go England or something that's in Utah, right? Something like that. Well, the temperature is going to be a variance. Now, if you're going to a school then you're going to be there for a month or whatever, and it's July now, you're done in October or next month, so in August, right? Then you're going to be training for a month or 2 months or whatever. Before you get home, you might be in long underwear weather out west, because snow flies and shoot. End of September, October, it's going to be snowing, 50 miles west of Denver, at least in the mountains. You might be chaining up. So even though I don't want to tell you you should take long underwear and stuff like that, you should at least pack along 3 pair of pants, 4 pair of shorts, enough clothes to change clothes within an 8-day period. You're going to learn that most truck drivers recycle some of their clothes. It happens. But if you're with a good trainer, or if you're in school, you should be able to wash your clothes regularly. So I don't know, maybe you're going to need bedding. All right, I've trained tons of students, and they come to the truck and they've got 400 pounds of bags, and I'm like, dude, you got to condense that down, and then we'll leave their stuff. So what I would tell them is, okay, bring 4 pair of pants, bring some shorts, bring some flip-flops, either boots or tennis shoes. You're not bringing both on my truck. You had 20 pillows, and you're like, dude, you get 2 at the most, and that's stretching it. A lot of times, they think that they're going to sleep on the top bunk when you're driving, and that's not going to happen. I don't care if there is a canopy up there. You're not going to do it in my truck. You can make that bed, and if we're stopped, then you can use it. Otherwise, you need to bring a blanket, something that you can lay down over top of the bottom bunk and crawl in. Bring your pillows down, throw my pillows up or whatever. Just, I don't want you under my covers, and you don't want to be under my covers. I have had students bring sleeping bags, and they're fine. That's a good plan. But if you bring a sleeping bag, make sure it's not a nylon type that will slide, because otherwise you're going to find yourself sliding all over the place when the truck is in movement. Bad plan. Okay, you're going to need some laundry soap, but don't bring a lot. Don't bring the economy size one. Some pods would be good, actually. Bring some pods. You should have some emergency food, because if you're going to school, you don't know what you're getting into. If you're going on a truck with a trainer, most of these companies will not give you in advance until you are assigned to a truck. So you want to have at least 3 days worth of food. And when I say food, you don't need to bring a turkey, but you need to have some emergency food, like some, I hate to say it, ramen noodles is emergency food that you can usually heat up somewhere. You can find a container and heat it up. You can bring some nuts, some some granola, something like that. Just so in case you do get stuck without something, you got something to snack on. You're gonna get hungry. Bring a pocket knife, bring some gloves. Don't bring no tools. I had a guy show up with a 100-pound toolbox. No, gotta leave it, All right, for women, and I've trained many women over the years, a lot of times they'll show up and they won't have appropriate paperwork, and your story's a little different. When you was born, you was given a birth certificate, unless you're 80, all right? So you got a birth certificate. When you got married, if you got married, you changed your name. You're gonna need documentation where and why you changed your name. And if you've been married more than once, you're gonna need documentation for every time you changed your name. I know that's crazy, but that's part of the Terrorism Act and everything, and they gotta know who you are. We know you're not Ahmed, but they gotta be fair to everyone and discriminate against everyone. So if you're a lady, bring all that stuff. And if you're a new age guy and you changed your name, guess what? Now you get to bring that stuff too. Party on. All right. So make sure you bring your hygiene items. You're going to need a toothbrush, toothpaste. You can use the economy size stuff. You don't have to bring full size stuff. You're going to be back home before toothpaste runs out, unless you're just a crazy brusher. Okay, nail clippers. You want to maintain yourself out here. You know, you got to get haircuts or whatever. So you may not want to bring a coat, but you may want to bring a hoodie, just in case. I can tell you that even this time of year, you can get on a mountain somewhere and run out of hours, and it might get down to 40 degrees at night. I wouldn't advise being out on a mountain in the middle of the night. They have bears there, and they think you taste good. Just saying, okay? So with whatever bottoms you're going to bring to wear, you're going to need an opposite top. But like I said, you're gonna recycle some stuff. If you're going to an orientation somewhere, I've seen people kicked out of orientation for showing up in pajamas. If you're going to a job, bring a belt and proper clothes. Some companies will send you home if you show up and you're not dressed right, because they don't want you representing them. Matter of fact, they would love to kick somebody out of orientation for looking bad, because it sets a good policy. Don't come here looking like that. Not even a good idea to show up in orientation wearing flip-flops, in my opinion, because it doesn't show that you have a serious job mentality. Okay, what else do you need? I got all this covered: blanket, pillow, and on top, which would be used. Yeah, you might need something to put your dirty clothes in also. Your trainer's probably not going to supply you with these things. Bring plenty of underwear and socks. Even if you don't get to take a shower every day, you should change your underwear and socks. Or the heat coming off of the floor in these trucks it's very hot at floor level. So your feet will sweat even in the middle of winter time. So also bring some baby wipes in case you need to take a whore bath, or your feet need to take a whore bath, because you don't want to get no athlete's feet. And you may not have any kind of foot issues, and that's great. I hope you don't. But you should bring yourself some of that athlete's foot spray or something anyway, because your tennis shoes may get moist or damp, and you'll want to spray that stuff in your shoes to kill any bacteria that may grow. It's a preventative, so you don't get something over time. Because out here, a lot of times you do want to switch your shoes every other day. People don't think about that, but it's a lot of sweat gathers up and destroys your tennis shoes. Your trainer really don't want to have to support you. A good trainer will probably actually feed you the whole time you're on his truck, but you should be prepared for a trainer's that don't know that they should do that. And I can't say that they should. I'm just saying I've either always owned my truck or leased a truck, so I have always done that. But if you get in a truck with another company driver, he's probably not going to feed you. That's most of the stuff that you should need coming out here as a new driver or as orientation, going to school. Because after you get your truck, they're going to send you home so you can bring your stuff and whatever you need. You might want to bring some reading material if you like to read. Don't bring valuables. And if you bring, whatever you do bring, make sure it's stuff you can carry at all times. Because if you're going to any of these bigger houses to learn how to drive, you're going to run into a lot of people that are they're going to rob you. And you don't want to get robbed. If you carry a GAT, leave your GAT at home. Don't bring it to orientation. You can pick it up when you go back. And come at it with a positive attitude. Everyone you meet is going to be different, and you may be leaving your safety zone. Put a happy face on, but don't trust no one. Except for me. All right. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment. Punch the smiley face over here. Just subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.